Welcome to a new episode of Short Comic Introduction, where I show you fun and interesting web and indie comics. Today we have a look at a fun and crazy one. Let's take a look at Val Hochberg's Mystery Babylon. The comic started in October 2010 and at the moment updates every Monday. The story evolves around Kicker, the only demon who wasn't imprisoned in a place called the Pit nearly 1,000 years ago at the end of the last apocalypse, and who tries to protect something called the Seal from a mystery or from mysterious Babylonian cult. And what it has to do with this cult and why a very, let's say, cheerful little priest is with her. It's like I said, it's a crazy story, and definitely one I would recommend in this case. I had a lot of fun reading this one, and it's when you first start reading it, it's something. Let's say it starts very unique in a way, and what I really love about this comic are the characters. Like I said, it's very crazy at times, because the characters you have, like I said, the main character is Kick Girl, a character who isn't very happy most of the time. You see her most of the time very grouchy, to say the least, and her companion, or her travel companion, is a very cheerful priest. You mostly of the time think he doesn't know what's going on around him. He's happy about everything, totally cheerful, and it's really fun seeing these two clash together most of the time. And also some of the other characters that are introduced during the comic are always giving you a smile when they appear in some way, especially in the later chapters when her, let's say, murderous ex-boyfriend comes into play, who's chasing them. And what I really like about the story, not only the characters, but it's a story, I have to admit, isn't very straightforward, to say the least. You never have the feeling you know what's going to happen in the next on the next pages, or after some cliffhangers in at the end of the different chapters. And even now, when this video is uploaded, she has already finished chapter 6, and I already saw the end, but most of the people who only read it on the main page may still have some pages to go. Her Patreons have possibility to see some of the pages a little bit earlier. So yeah, it's a very interesting. Like I said, it's something I really recommend. The only thing I think at first, okay, let's say it this way. I have to admit, when the comic was or when she started the comic, I wasn't so sure about it. Okay, it sounds a little bit stupid, but I saw the first page, I read the first page, I saw the name, and I really, at first glance, I thought this was some, let's say, religious or biblical story, and I haven't tried it when I first stumbled upon it. Yeah, normally I tried. I don't try to judge a book by the cover, but in this case, it was a very stupid thing I did at that time, and yeah, I think I started reading it some months after this point, and I hope you won't kill me for this, well, because yeah, like I said, I became a fan after I started reading the comic or I really read started reading the comic, not only looking at the first page. Yeah, so, some people might think the same when they hear the title, or like I said, read the first page, because the first page is from the revelation, and it really, like I said, it's at first glance it really looked like it's going to be something religious, and it's not. It has some themes in it that are, or you can trace to that, but it's not a real biblical story. So yeah, try it out in this case. The world itself is also something that I think is really done great. At first, at first it looks like a medieval setting, just from the clothes and how everyone, or let's say how everything is designed. But relatively short into the comic, you see it's somewhere. After or somewhere really in the future, so you see modern buildings, modern or destroyed modern things, modern buildings, and everything in this case, and it later plays some roles or some minor parts in the story where some things happen, and she did a great job with implementing this, because it never feels like these are two separate parts that don't belong. It always you have always this feeling when something changes or goes into this in these parts, that they belong here. You always have this feel. It's really is somewhere in the future, and with all what happens, you always have this feeling. It's some really a long time after an apocalypse, or the apocalypse. Yeah, like I said, that works fine. What also works is her all or let's say the art in the whole thing. I like how she changes between let's say more. Someone more the abstract style, and then more these more how to put it, more serious parts, and it's yeah, sometimes they are serious, and in the next part they are more comical, but also here it never feels like it's a hard cut in this point. It feels natural, and even if she's changing the style from, or she draws the characters in a more chibi way style, or more cute way. I never had the feeling it doesn't fit in the whole comic. It's always. And I'm someone who's not really into these overcute or chibi style things, but it feels right for the comic, and I had some really big laughs when that happens, and believe me, Zero the Priest is one of the best examples in the whole comic, or I think a good example with the art of character he's representing as a whole to do these things. Yeah, so overall, definitely a recommendation to try it out if you're into let's say more comedian style of comics, or want a big laugh, or something let's say a little bit different to the standard superhero comics, or in that case. One thing I've seen. I'm not sure if this was intentional, but I again, to the art. I like how how well plays with the with the colors and the intensity of colors, and you have the feeling she changes it every time the mood changes. When it's more darker, the colors become more dark, not very bright, and more, let's say, these black brown colors. And when it's more, let's say, cheerful, you got more the bright colors, or yellow, or like the yellow, white, blue, something like that. And even if the mood changes in a second or into the next page, it's also something I never have had a feeling it's wrong. It's just it's an interesting way to do the mood on these pages, and I never saw that in this way, but it really worked out. If it was intentional, I don't know, but yeah, again, check it, definitely check it out. If you want to support her, there are more ways. You can always comment on her pages when they're going up or going live. You can vote for her on Top Webcomics, or even become a patron. Like I said, patron, you have the possibility to see pages earlier, or even become or even get a monthly postcard from her with a unique drawing on them. Just two examples, and I'm really looking forward every time I see these in my post box. So yeah, like I said, if you like it, try to support her in any way you can. Yeah, thanks for watching, and see you soon.